What's going on, you guys? Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to be talking about a very controversial topic that I tried not to cover on my podcast because
I do not want to die.
it's just not easy to talk about it, you know? So I'm going to be talking about whether or not it's ethical to deport immigrants with a particular focus on the operations of immigration and customs enforcement, such as ICE in California. So, on Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of posts of people trying to spread an awareness about ICE right now, like they're everywhere. Posted up in certain places in Oakland that a lot of people that are not documented. And, we're going back to when Trump was president the first time.
We'll find out.
So I'm not here to bash Trump nor his policies. I'm just here voicing something that I find truly important, because there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be split from their families within the next 4 years, But many people may argue that there are a lot of people coming here undocumented that are committing crimes,
Can we all just get along?
So I'm going to be presenting arguments from both sides right now that pretty much touch on the ethical, legal, and the humanitarian considerations surrounding deportation and ICE operations in California. The statistics around immigrant deportations from California, as well as the number of families affected, are complex and can vary depending on the time period and specific policies in place. Deportations from California in the recent years. California, with its large immigrant population, has consistently been a major focus of United States immigration enforcement activities. The state's total deportations have fluctuated based on changes in federal immigration policy. Total deportations from California. So according to United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, their data basically says that California has typically accounted for about 15 to 20% of all deportations in the United States. In 2020, for example, there were approximately 150,000 deportations from California. Between 2017 and 2020, during the Trump administration's enforcement-heavy stance, deportations from California increased significantly. Under the Biden administration, deportations have decreased in general, especially for individuals without criminal records, as the Biden administration focused more on removing people with serious criminal convictions. Breakdown of deportations by categories. ICE's enforcement priorities target people with criminal convictions, but many deported individuals are not involved in these activities. According to recent reports from ICE, individuals with criminal convictions, around 50 to 60% of deportations involve individuals who have criminal convictions. These crimes range from minor offenses to more serious ones. Non-criminal deportations, around 40 to 50% of those deported may have no criminal record or were arrested for immigration-related offenses, like entering the country unlawfully or overstaying a visa. I find it's important to say this, that there is a way bigger majority of people coming to America seeking asylum, such as survival, like literally where they're from is broken down, probably due to Western policies, who knows? But a lot of times these people are living in a country where you can't even trust the police, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so twisted in so many places, and just imagine all the children who want to come here just to be able to sleep peacefully at night, However, a lot of people are going to argue with me and say, no, if they're not from here, they can't be here, this and that. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm just talking about this, because like I said, it's a very sensitive topic and just want to bring some light to it, Studies have shown that the children who have deported parents face higher risk of mental health issues, behavioral problems, and academic struggles. Many children are placed in foster care or end up in difficult financial situations. So now let's cover some very juicy segments.
Almost done.
The immigration debate. Immigration has always been a hot button issue in the United States, and one of the central questions is, should we allow immigrants who are in the country without proper documentation stay, or should they be deported back to their countries of origin? On one hand, proponents of deportation argue that the United States has the right to enforce its borders and ensure that those living in this country do so legally. They emphasize the importance of national security, protecting jobs, and preventing unlawful behavior. They believe that when individuals break immigration laws, there should be consequences. On the other hand, opponents argue that deporting immigrants, many of whom have been in the United States for years, working, raising families, and contributing to society, often does more harm than good. They argue that separating families, disrupting communities, and sending people back to uncertain or dangerous conditions is truly inhumane and unjust.
So unjust.
ICE's role in California. In California, the operations of ICE have been under intense scrutiny in recent years. As a state with the largest immigration population in the United States, like I said earlier, California has seen significant immigration enforcement activity. ICE's role is to apprehend individuals who are in the country illegally, sometimes through raids or by working with local law enforcement agencies. Critics of ICE argue that the agency's methods can be heavy-handed and led to unjust consequences, like the deportation of longtime residents who have deep ties to the community. Furthermore, some believe that ICE's operations create a climate of fear, particularly in immigrant communities, where people might hesitate to seek services or report crimes out of fear of being detained. Ethical considerations. Now let's look at the ethical side of the argument. Is it ethical to deport immigrants? This is truly important.
Very important.
For some, the ethical argument hinges on the principle of fairness, ensuring that those who follow the rules are not unfairly disadvantaged. They argue that without enforcement, the immigration system would be undermined. I don't want to connect this with what's going on in Palestine because people are going to be like, what the fuck? What does this have to do with what's going on in Palestine? But because there were a very small group who committed, this crime on October 7th, that justifies everybody else's livelihoods. No water, no food, getting bombed, getting shot, etc., etc. So it's like, where's the fairness in that? So I feel like we can apply that same idea to with immigration.
Maybe.
Can we truly let some small bad apples ruin it for everyone else? So that's just a question to ask. So I know that wrestling this question is not easy, whether or not to deport immigrants who are not from here. However, I feel like it's truly important to really approach this topic with empathy, and understanding, because a lot of people, I don't know, like I said, they just don't think with their heart anymore. We have a mind and we have a heart for a reason. There are certain situations where we have to use our mind, and there's certain situations where we have to use our hearts. So I feel like in this situation, we have to use, a mixture of both, of course, but mostly use our heart. So yeah, I just feel like it's very important to have compassion this year because we are seeing a moral decline. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Now it's time to go edit. So this is going to be real fun. So yeah, stay blessed, everybody. Peace and blessings. And thank you so much for being here.